on this program are not those of IntellectualRadio.com, its subsidiaries, or sponsors. Encouraging, educating, and empowering you into action. This is Warriors Talk with your host, Lady Rochelle.
Excited for this show. So while you guys are just tuning in, because I know we're going live on Facebook, make sure that you're liking this video, that you're sharing it, and that you're starting to watch parties as well, because it's going to be a very exciting show. Alrighty. I'm looking. I see some comments and stuff. We'll make sure we do read some of the comments later on. Thank you guys so much for tuning in already. We definitely appreciate it. Okay, I think it's time. It's 6 o'clock on the dot. Okay, we are ready. Yes, welcome back to Warriors Talk with Lady Rochelle usually, but today, my Leah Simone, which is me, I am hosting the show. I'm doing a takeover because I'm going to be interviewing the one and only Lady Rochelle. Yes, I'm so excited. Welcome back, y'all. You already know her motto is moving away from awareness towards action. I'm so excited to be a part of her mission today. And today is another Testimonial Monday. And if you see me kind of looking away, I'm trying not to look away as often. I have a few notes right here in front of me, but I'm going to keep my eyes on you as much as possible. But I want to go ahead and introduce our topic for today, So we're doing from pleasure to pain to purpose. And I think it's just so powerful. Isn't that just a powerful statement in general? And you'll hear more about what that means as we go more into the show and as we talk to our lovely guests. But before we get into that, I want to go ahead and get the logistics out of the way. So, of course, we are not only live on Facebook, but we're also live on Intellectual Radio. That's right, Intellectual Radio. And you can tune in on YouTube, Facebook, and Spreaker.com as well. And you can also just type in Intellectual Radio if you're trying to figure out how to find it. Don't forget to also drop in for the Drive at 5 with Roman, and make sure that you keep it locked right here on Intellectual Radio and let us feed your brain. All right, guys, almost there. I'm excited to bring on our awesome guests for the evening. But first, we're going to talk about a few of our sponsors. So one of the sponsors for this amazing show, Warriors Talk with Lady Rochelle, is Emmanuel Church of God in Christ. This is the church I used to go to, located at 3058 West Van Buren, and here with Pastor Michael Richardson. And you can, if you're looking for service information and more about them, go ahead and look at emmanuelproject.com. And you can also catch the live morning services on Sundays. They will be going live at 10 a.m. on the Emmanuel Project Facebook page. We also have another wonderful sponsor who I know personally, Miss Paula Kelly with Allstate. She's located at 327 East Glenwood Lansing Road in Glenwood, Illinois. If you want to hear more about what she's doing and if you want to contact her, the number is 708-758-3300. All right. And also, I want to share a quick quote for today. I was looking for quotes that talk about poetry because Miss Lady Rochelle has her poetry book that she's going to be talking about. And so I found a quote by Robert Frost that I want to share with you guys. Poetry is when an emotion has found its thoughts and the thought has found its words. That is truth right there. And poetry is just art, and we love that. We need that. And so thank God for Miss Lady Rochelle sharing that with us on today. And I want her to come on in. I want to bring her in so that we can hear right from her what her beautiful poetry book is about. And there she is. Say hi, Miss Lady Rochelle.
Hello.
Yes. Okay. So we kind of know who you are. I mean, this is your show for the most part. But we still want to go ahead and introduce you a little bit. So now you see the face. You see who I'm talking about. She should look familiar. I want to go ahead and tell you guys a little bit about Miss Lady Rochelle. So Rochelle L. Matheny was born and raised in Chicago, Illinois. She is the mother of 5 beautiful children and has over 17 years of experience as a probation officer. She received a master's degree in business administration from Aurora University in Illinois. She is the founder of Warriors Talk, Inc., and she serves as an ambassador educating the community on the importance of cancer risk and early detection. Rochelle currently hosts a weekly radio show called Warriors Talk that empowers individuals into action for a healthier lifestyle before, during, and after a cancer diagnosis. In her free time, she also enjoys writing poetry and spending time with her children. So please welcome to Warriors Talk, Miss Lady Rochelle.
Awesome. That was great. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, you know what? We're just glad that we get to kind of switch it a little bit. You know, you're always interviewing people and talking about what's going on in their lives, but for once we get to just sit down and see what's going on. So I am so glad that you allow me to be able to be on this platform with you and to talk to you about your new project. So from pleasure and pain to purpose, I mean, that alone is like what, that just sounds so like amazing. It sounds so big. So just take a moment. Tell us, what does that mean? What's all that stand? What does it stand for?
From pleasure and pain to purpose. Basically it means when you're going through a situation, like when we're younger and we go through stuff, normally we do stuff for fun. We don't really have any responsibility. So that's the pleasure part. As you get a little older, sometimes you go through pain, making decisions, being all part of being a grown up. And then as you get a little older, you get to sit back and figure out what was the purpose in all of these things. And you use what you went through to kind of like, as lessons learned, to move forward. No matter what the situation is, you always continue to move forward.
Yes, that is so true. And I'm glad you explained that because, it's a very powerful statement. But like, what does it mean? So now we know exactly what it means. And you know what? This statement is not just a statement. It actually is in relation to your new book that is out, your new poetry book, Visions of Happiness. So honestly, I think I'm really proud of you that you finally got your poetry book out. And I want you to take a little time just to talk about like your journey in getting this completed, because it's not something that happened overnight, right?
No, it took about 10 years for me to finish the book. I started in like 2010 writing the poetry. My very first poem I wrote actually in 2001, and it was about my uncle who passed away from an aneurysm. But I wrote that poem and I read it at his services, and I have no idea where it is. So that was actually the very first poem. And then I started in 2010 writing poetry. And when I was writing the poetry, it all came about from just different relationships, that you have. And, you have your own vision of what that relationship should be like. And then when you're in that relationship, it's a totally different vision. And you always try to come back to be happy, and which is happy. Happy is a word in itself that some people, it's based on what's happening around you. So, you try to make sure that you're happy and everybody else around you is happy. So when I started writing the poems, it was funny because if you know me personally, like if you were my best friend, then you would know what poem is about who. So it's kind of funny, but and I kind of you don't want to make it seem like the person, so you kind of just like mix stuff up a little bit. So I mix stuff up a little bit. So some stuff is true in the poetry book and some stuff is not. Some stuff is about me and some stuff is about people that I know, like I watch their lives and then I sit and write a poem about it. And it's just amazing to see how the poems come to life. I actually tried to publish this book 2 years ago, but I was rushing it. So, it didn't happen. And it's really all in God's time. And this time that I did it, I wanted something to commemorate my 50th birthday. And I said, well, what can I do? I wanted to do a big party. Yeah. And I wanted to have a big celebration. I wanted to do an 80s party, because I grew up in the 80s. And I wanted to have all my friends and family there. But with COVID-19 going on with the pandemic, I was like, okay, that's not going to happen. So what else could I do, to, do something big for my 50th, something that I would remember, my children will, and my children can explain to their children's children, and it will allow me to be here as a legacy, even when I'm not here, my words will be here. So,
Definitely. No, that's very powerful. Honestly, I know there is a lot going on in the world right now, but I knew that you wanted to release this on your 50th as a big celebration. And honestly, it is. It's a great accomplishment. The fact that you chose to go ahead and release it right now, because I was going to ask you, so why now? Why now? But I mean, why not now? why not now? I think it's really the perfect time
Exactly.
to go ahead and go ahead.
And especially with the pandemic going on, it gave me a little downtime to really work on it and to put some tender love and care to it versus just trying to rush and get it done. So I really had time to sit and kind of like just really get into how I wanted to do it. And then I just really just set the date. Once I set that date, it kind of held me to it. And I really, I had to do it. I had to stick to it. So.
Awesome. And so did you self-publish this on your own, correct?
I self-published this book and yes, I did. Oh my goodness. So self-publishing, it can be it's a journey. It can be a lot. It can really be a lot. I thank God for Tonil Jackson, who really, kind of schooled me on everything that I'm doing, that I learned to do with self-publishing. But I don't think I would have it any other way. I think I would always want to go this route because you get to control what you put out, how you put it out. And, I like that I can put my own spin on it and I can, not really take credit for everything that, but I can really call it my own. So I'm glad that I self-published, and I would encourage anybody else to, self-publish. It doesn't mean that you're doing everything yourself, because you outsource certain things that, that's not your forte. And, you just over the whole thing. You have more control over what's going on.
Definitely. No, I definitely understand. Self-publishing is a lot. So I definitely give you props for that after working on this book for such a long time, and also taking part in that. Self-publishing it and pushing it out there and promoting it yourself, that's a big responsibility. So y'all make sure that y'all go ahead and buy this book. It's out now, so it's out and it's ready. It's ready to be read by you. So go ahead and get it. I know that Lady Rochelle has worked so hard on it, and she does want to share her poetry with you. And go ahead. Did you have a comment?
I looked on Amazon today before I came here, and I was number 158 in women's poetry. So. Yeah,
that's awesome. So you can go find the book on Amazon and make it go up higher in the range.
Yes.
We want get it to number one. Make it the number one poetry book on Amazon.
The more you buy in the weekend, like when it's released, then it helps you to be like a number one Amazon, so a bestseller for Amazon. Because Amazon is about numbers. So
Yes. So I'm glad that you mentioned that. So Amazon. If you haven't already bought the book, go ahead and look for it on Amazon, so that Visions of Happiness, so that you can help Lady Rochelle become a best-selling author on Amazon. Because honestly, that really does help when people, obviously, you're going on there and buying it like back to back like that. So go ahead, guys, but don't do it right now because you're watching the show. Do it after the show. And I just want to go ahead and talk a little bit more about the poetry. So we want people to know what they're getting when they read the book. Do you think that the book is more for adults, or do you think that it would be appropriate for a different age range, an audience? What's your audience for this book? I know a little bit more about the book than most people. So but you tell it. What do you think?
So I am saved and I have accepted Jesus Christ as my savior, right? So the book, so that's my disclaimer, right? So the book talks about it's a poetic recollection of transformation from pleasure and pain to purpose. So it lets you know that some type of transformation or transforming is happening throughout my poems. So I put the disclaimer in the book that it contains adult content and is not suitable for anybody under the age of 18. And even if you're an adult, you may be offended by reading some of the poetry. So that's my disclaimer.
You know what? That's really good that you mentioned that, because no, seriously, that's really good that you mentioned that, because some people may think that it's one kind of thing or it's this kind of poetry or that, and then and they pick it up and they're like, wait, I didn't know it was going to be like that. So including a disclaimer is very important. And on that note too, just because like you said, it can get a little more adult in the poetry. Do you feel like as a Christian woman that people may read this and look at you a certain kind of way? Do you feel like,
I know that they will. I know that they will, but it didn't stop me from putting the book out. This book is not
Yeah.
about, it's not about your salvation or anything like that. If you have a relationship with God, this book is not going to make you backslide.
Yeah. It's not
If
50 Shades of Grey.
No, it's not. But if you are living, then you have been through probably
Yeah.
100% of what's in this book. But as Christians, we try to hide like we're perfect, and we don't do these things that the so-called sinners are doing. But we've been
Right.
there and we've done that, and that's why we are saved from grace, because we got tired of operating in pleasure, and I decided to operate in purpose now.
Yeah, no, that's really important that you bring that up. Myself as a storyteller as well, I appreciate that, because some people they expect, especially for Christians, to tell these cookie cutter stories, and life is not like that. Nobody is cookie cutter. Like, we make mistakes sometimes. We're not perfect, and it's okay to tell stories that have, you know what I mean?
If you
Tell
get
more.
offended, take it up with God.
Yeah, because honestly, I think sometimes people forget, Lady Rochelle, that we're all human. And, we're all human. We experience different things. And so instead of judging people or reading this book and saying, well, she is a Christian, why did she write that poetry? I mean, look, you don't know where she's been, where she's coming from.
Keep in mind that I started 10 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Most of the poems were already written probably 5 years ago. They were already done. I was just waiting to publish it. And again, I tried to publish it 2 years ago. So these poems were already written when I was out there doing my thing, right? Not that I didn't know Christ, but I just decided to do my own thing. So, so keep that in mind, that you too was a sinner. And I'm sure you can write a book about the things that you have done. But I decided, and I have enough courage to write a book about the things that I have experienced, the things that I have seen, other people experience, and then some of the things I've made up in my imagination.
Yeah, and that's okay. I think I know that some people out there may look at it and try to be judgmental, but I hope that they will hear your words and know it's not even, you know what I mean? That they will hear your story. So I think just that the people need to look at it for what it is, and I think it's beautiful. It's a part of who you are, it's a part of life, and that's okay. And also, I just want to know, just because it is so personal to you, I know you said some of the poems just about your life, about things that you've been through, about people that you know. Did you feel like very kind of afraid to put some of this stuff out there because it is kind of personal for you?
I did at first. When I first started writing it, I was, I can't publish these. This is something that I would probably keep to myself, and I wouldn't publish it. But you know what? I mean, I haven't been through anything that somebody else in the world hasn't been through, and I survived what I went through. So I'm not afraid of it, because I've already asked God for forgiveness, and I've already repented for the things that I've done. So in my heart, I'm good. If you have a problem with it, then maybe you have some unresolved issues that you need to resolve yourself. But I'm good.
No, that is so important. That is important that you bring that up. And I was trying to look to see what people were saying. I think people are really interested in this. Like, they're like hanging on your every word. I was trying to see what comments we're getting in about this. I think honestly, it's just, thank you for sharing this. I think it's just so important. I think poetry in general, and the fact that it wasn't like a tell-all book, because it could have went a totally different way.
Right. No, it's not a tell-all.
Yeah, I think the fact that you were able, because not everybody's able to do this, you were able to take parts of your life and all of that, and make it into this like an art. Like, it's a way of storytelling that's not exploiting anybody in your life. It's not exploiting you, and it's very skillfully done. And I think I want to know, and everybody else may want to know as well, why poetry? Why was that your outlet? Is it something that you got into way before, you decided I'm going to put these poems and, make it into a book? Or what was it like for you, that journey to find poetry as an outlet?
I think because I couldn't tell anybody what I was going through. So the way for me to heal was to write it down in poetry, and also a way for me to commemorate that moment, so that I can go back from it, I can grow from it, I can share with somebody, I can testify to somebody, and then I can move on. You grow from the moment. So it was just a way for me to, to heal and to cleanse myself, was to just get it out. And it just flowed. The poetry just flowed.
Yeah. No, that's good because, like I said, not many people are able to do that, but you have that artistic ability to be able to craft your own stories and experiences into poetry, which I think is really important and also very underrated at times in the world, to be honest. Yeah, but I love poetry, so I'm glad that you're doing this. And I wanted to talk a little bit about. I know that you did throughout this whole month of June, you were doing like your live videos around was it 8 p.m. I believe it was at 8 p.m. where you would do like a couple of minutes. It wasn't that long, and you would read poetry from your book, and it was sort of like poetry meets spoken word a little bit because you're actually like performing it. What was that like for you? Do you like to perform your poetry?
I love to perform my poetry. I like to memorize it when I perform. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
memorize it for the lives. I just read
Right.
it. But if I'm out at an open mic, I like to memorize it because I'm able to put feelings to it. If I'm reading it, it kind of takes away from that. And I think when you memorize it, the crowd is more into it versus me, looking down reading. So
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather do the open mic. But
Okay.
when I first started doing it, I mean, I was vulnerable. I was nervous, and like Erica Badu, I'm sensitive about my sugar honey iced tea. And then
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, a lot of people, you either get poetry or you don't, and
Right.
it's that
Yeah.
simple. You either get it or you don't. And it was a way for me to get outside of my comfort zone to do
Mm-hmm.
something that, I wouldn't ordinarily do. I would do it. You do it at the open mic. You got a crowd, a
Yeah.
limited crowd there. But you doing it on Facebook, you could go out to anywhere. Anybody can see it and, make a meme out of it, laugh at it. They could do
Mm-hmm.
anything. So it was a way for me to break out of my comfort zone and do it. And I conquered that. So I'm okay.
Yeah. No, I think that it was really great that you did that because it also piques people interest into what to the book, to Visions of Happiness to see what is this book going to be about, and then they realize, oh, okay, and they get to hear some of the poems. I also appreciated when you did those lives. I got to see some of them where you would do poems that kind of correlated with what was going on in the world, and I just wanted to ask you, like, did you do that on purpose when you did certain poems, like "Make America Great Again" and stuff? Did you do those on purpose to
You know,
like?
I did it on purpose when I felt the atmosphere of what was going on, and I said, okay,
Yeah,
this is needed for right now. So
yeah,
I would kind of change the theme up each week. It would be a different theme, but I mean, it came perfect because of what was going on with George Floyd and everything. So you know, I believe that it was God because everything just flowed. It was effortlessly. I didn't have to really push to do anything. So
I agree. Honestly, the way that you did it, I thought it was really well done. And like I said, it did correlate to some of the things that were going on in the world, and I think that even made people more interested to see, like, oh, okay, her poetry is it's not just about love, or it's not just about this, but that you're a versatile poet. And do you feel like you're a versatile poet, or do you feel like you just write when you're like inspired? It's like, okay, that something impacts you, and you're like, I'm gonna write about it.
something no, it's normally relationships.
Yeah.
But when I was going through my cancer journey, I was able to write about that, and
Hmm.
and I was able to write about, I have a whole section on Black men. Me, all of my
Hmm.
writings are centered. The most of them are centered around relationships.
Yeah. And I noticed that there are a lot of poems in the book about love, but I mean that's okay. I mean, listen. People market love songs, love romantic comedies. I mean, that's people love love, so it's really it's okay. Do you feel like so? Is that your favorite? Is that your favorite topic to write about? If you could just choose to write one kind of poetry, do you feel like you would just be like, okay, I can market this. I can definitely market love or romantic poetry
But
if you could choose.
it's not like the fairy tale love.
Well,
Mine's
yeah,
is raw, is real.
yeah,
So yeah, I think that's, to me, that's my area of expertise. So I would be able to flourish in it.
yeah, definitely. What is now? I'm curious about this because, like I said, I know most of the poems though because. Well, I mean, I don't know if everybody knows this, but Lady Rochelle is my mom, and I've heard a lot of these poems already. But they're really good poems, and I just wanted to know what is I don't know if you have ever told me this before, but what is your favorite poem out of this whole book? Like, is it whether it's about a relationship or whatever, or maybe you have a few. What are some of your favorites from the book?
I don't really have a favorite. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. The first poem that I wrote in the book is titled My King. So
Yeah.
that was the first one that kicked everything off from there.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of set the tone. But as
Definitely.
far as a favorite, I don't. Because when I read them, like every time I read them, it just brings me back to, what was happening at that time, and I just kind of like chuckle. But I don't have a favorite one.
Yeah.
I love all
And
my
that's
babies.
okay. I think it's hard for authors to be like, whether it's a favorite chapter in a book or a poem, to be like, what's your favorite? Yeah, that's hard because it's all part of your thing. It's all part of one thing that you did. It's like, I can't dissect that, but that's okay. I do want to mention also to everybody who's watching, if you guys have any questions, go ahead and put them in the comments so I can read them off and ask Lady Rochelle if you want to know anything about her book or anything that's coming up in her life. Go ahead and ask so that we can see what her answer is. And speaking of which, do you feel like you are going to about like what's to come? Do you feel like you would do more poetry books? Do you think you would do another one or somewhere down the line anytime soon?
It took me 10 years to do this one, so
Yeah.
I mean, it would take me. I have no idea. Like
Yeah.
when I wrote the poems, that was not on my mind. I wasn't thinking about writing a book. I just once I got done writing them, and it's 50 poems in here, by the way. So 50 poems for my 50th birthday. And once I got to that number 50, I was like, okay, I have enough poems to do the book, and it's perfect for my 50th birthday. And then I made sure that I had 8 chapters because 8 is the number of new beginnings, and this is a new beginning for me because I'm closing the book on this chapter. I've been working on it for 10 years.
Right. You know what? And that is definitely, I definitely understand that. I feel like, okay, so I'm actually trying to, if I look distracted like yourself, I promise I'm not, I'm listening. I'm trying to look at the comments people are liking and they're listening. But come on, guys, I know you have some questions because the poetry book, there's like so much within this book that you just want to know about. And that's okay, Lady Rochelle. Like, if you're not completely like, okay, the next poetry book is coming out, at this time, it's okay. I think you're going to pique people's interest with this book, definitely. And they're going to want to know, like, when the next one is coming. So just stay tuned, all right, everybody? Y'all stay tuned. You never know. I feel like, honestly, when you do another one, or if you decide to do another one, then it's going to be like, I think it'll blow your mind. I think it'll impress you more than you thought.
It'll probably be totally different because I would be in a different place. So I think that book will probably be more softer than this one.
Yeah.
It'll probably
That's
be
okay.
more fairy tale type love. Yeah, but not this one. This one was all about learning and just transforming to what it is that I don't want in relationships, and this doesn't feel good. And sometimes we want people to make us happy, and our happiness should not be dependent on a person. It should not, because it depends on what's happening. Things change, so we should be looking to have joy, because joy is something that's inside. It's not predicated onto what's going on around you. And it's inside. People can't take that from you, but the happiness, people can start to make you happy. You should be looking to yourself to make yourself happy. When you get with somebody, it's just okay, double the happiness, but don't look for somebody else to fulfill that for you.
You know what? That is, wow. I think that's so real. People don't really think about that. That is so real, the fact that you just said that. And actually, when you were saying that, I was thinking about, and I was looking for it over here, one of your poems called All of Me. Like, basically, kind of what you were saying about, like, not ready to complete you. Because All of Me is about like giving yourself to somebody. So can you talk about that one? Because everything you just said kind of correlated a little bit with this one, to me, at least.
All of Me, All of Me is I perform that as spoken word because it's explosive. It talks about, like you said, how you with somebody and you just giving them everything that you can give them, everything that you think that's making them happy. You giving them you giving them nights of passion. You giving them babies. You keeping house. You doing all of this, and at the end of the day, you have nothing left because this person, you done gave this person everything. And so it talks about taking back yourself and, not giving somebody all of you. You shouldn't give somebody all of you. They should have a portion of what belongs to them, and then you should have something for yourself. Because when you give somebody all of you, you lose yourself, and we do that in relationships. We lose ourselves. So that's what all of me is about. It's about taking back yourself, and then waiting for God, waiting for God to send you somebody who's not going to take all of you, who's going to say, "Oh, babe, no, that's your portion. No, you don't have to give that all to me. I'm good." You have people be like, "Okay, give it to me. I'll take it."
That is so wow. See, some people don't get poetry, but I feel like most of your poems are like straightforward, and like what everything you just said, it's like it makes sense. It's simple. It's not like complicated, And I feel like sometimes people. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, you're fine. It's all good. Sometimes people don't like. Yeah, I know. Well, some poems are written a little differently. I feel like your style of writing, though, is it's simple. You know what I mean? Like, it's not, like, difficult. You create a picture. I give you that. You're very good at being descriptive. And I just want to ask, do you feel like that's something you're very intentional about? Like, you chose, like, I'm going to be very descriptive here and there? Or were you just, like whatever comes, that's what's gonna happen. I just what I'm gonna write down.
I don't like reading some of these poems where you have to go running in a dictionary to figure out what they're talking about. Yeah. Like it bores me so bad. So I wanted people to be able to read it and get it and be able to identify with, oh yeah, I've been through that. Oh yeah, I can identify with that. Not walk away like, okay, what they said, the peanut and the iron, what? Like, just say what it is. And I respect all different types of poetry. So that's, this is just my type.
Yeah, I get that. I totally get that, because some poems are, even the iconic ones, sometimes I'm like, what are they talking about? But with yours, like one that I really like is called Back in Time. I'm trying to look for the line that I wanted to read. One of the lines, it says, and it kind of correlates with with the title. It says, back in time to change my mind, my life, my destiny. This is not what I dreamed life would be. No fairy tale ending for me. Like, okay, I mean, it rhymes. I give you that, but it's not like difficult to read, So it's another thing about rhyming. Is that something that you do a lot in your poems? Because I noticed it a couple of times, but it wasn't like, do you try to rhyme, or you're just like?
No, trying to rhyme kind of takes away from me just flowing. So I try not to rhyme. Like if I write it, I'll write it first and then I'll go back through it and then try to make it rhyme. I can't, otherwise, sometimes I just leave it like it is. You may read a poem that probably has no rhyme to it at all. It's just straight. I think to me, it just takes away from me being creative when I have to do that.
No, I totally get that. I mean, not everybody's trying to be like Dr. Seuss and rhyme the green eggs and ham. Like, I totally get that. That's not people. You know what? I used to hear people say a lot like about poetry that it kind of, I don't know. I guess maybe a lot of people, like I used to have the wrong idea of what poetry was. I think a lot of people did as well. Like, it has to rhyme, it has to sound like this, it has to be like this, and that's not necessarily true. So I'm glad that we have this book that we get to talk about this evening on Intellectual Radio with Warriors Talk with Lady Rochelle. Talk about poetry that's different, poetry that's real, that's raw, and that is very personal, but also just really good to read. I think that each poem is kind of like a short story. It tells a different part of whatever, of a part of your life, part of a relationship, and I think it's so cool. Do you look at poetry like that too, like short stories? I mean, I know we kind of talk a lot about where you get them from, but do you feel like it's also just like a short story in itself?
Yeah, I mean, some poems, when you read it, you can do the whole picture. Like you can read it and then you sit there, you can picture exactly what was going on at that time, and that's how I try to do my poetry. So you can have a picture in your mind to say, hey, I can see myself in that situation. Like you can picture yourself. And I think that leaves a impression on people, a lasting impression on somebody when they can actually do that. Versus Definitely. Just, you read it and walk away like, okay, what was that?
No, I agree. I think storytelling, whether it's through poetry or whatever it's through, you want to want to help paint the picture of what's going on, and you do want to leave an impression. You want people to be able to see what you're talking about, be able to relate to what you're talking about, and that's a quality that you have in your poetry. I think very relatable, and I think that people will be able to pick up this book and read the different poems, and whatever level they're on, they'll relate to it on a different level. They'll be able to see maybe even some part of themselves or a part of their life or somebody that they know. They'll be able to see some of that in there. And I think that's really cool. I also want to mention again, of course, we are live on Intellectual Radio, and as well, we're live on Facebook. So if you guys have any questions, go ahead and let us know so that I can go ahead and ask Miss Lady Rochelle for you if you have any questions about anything that she's working on the book itself, or anything that is coming up in the future from Miss Lady Rochelle. So Miss Lady Rochelle, we've been talking about this book, and I'm really excited for you. I think it's just, like I said, I think it's great. I think it's really cool. And I want you to tell everybody how many poems are in this book?
It's 50. It's 50 for my 50th birthday.
Right.
So
Isn't that cool? We don't have to ask what the number means because we get it. It's like, it definitely makes sense that it's 50 poems. And so it's not a long read, it's not like a million chapters, but it's short and sweet. It's short and sweet. And I think that's cool. I think it's something that you can pick up and that you can just enjoy for what it is. And I think that's really cool. I think I was going to ask you as well. So do you feel like it's something that people can read whether they are going through similar things or not? Do you feel like somebody who maybe like they don't have a lot of the experiences that you're talking about, do you think that they will be able to pick it up and still find something in it? Or do you think it's mostly for...
No, I think you'll be able to find something that fits you. I mean, if you go through the different chapters, it's 8 chapters. The first one talks about, again, you have to be over the age of 18. Let me say that.
Yep.
The first chapter is titled A Little Bitter But Not Broken. And I know a lot of people, especially women, can identify with that, going through relationships. Some people walk away bitter, and you can say, I may be a little bitter, but guess what? I'm not broken. I'm going to keep moving forward. And then the second chapter is called So High. And it just talk about how you can be high off somebody in a relationship. You know what happens when you get high off drugs, right? You lose yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And that goes with the chapter 3. It's not about me. You have to, it's not about me. Sunshine. I love Sunshine, and I want to read that poem because that's...
I was going to ask you. That's literally my next question.
Okay, I'll read it. And then
please talk about it. Read it.
Okay, I'm going to read that one. But then chapter 5 is Love Is. So it's just me talking about my definition of what love is. When a man loves a woman, what I feel that I should deserve or other people should deserve.
Yes.
Then chapter 6 is Together We Can, and that one's dedicated to like Black men and what's going on. And there's a poem in there for Black women as well.
Yep.
Chapter 7 is Wounded Warrior, and that's all about my cancer journey. And my favorite poem out of that one really is Chemo Days out of that chapter.
Mm-hmm.
And then My End to My Beginning is chapter 8. So that's telling you that transformation is ending and there's a new beginning. So that's a hot chapter.
I love that.
So
yes.
So
go ahead,
Sunshine,
go ahead.
Hold on.
I want to hear Sunshine. The fact that you mentioned it, literally, that was my next question. I was going to ask you about this poem and see if you could read it for us. So Lady Rochelle's reading my mind. I'm ready for it. I'm here for it. So
okay. Sunshine. Sunshine, rain, or snow. He loves me. This I know. Trials and tribulations, outrage at the lack of participation, bill collectors, lack of funds. This love isn't for everyone. Sunshine, rain, or snow, he loves me. This I know. Years passing, age skin. Where the hell does love fit in? Jealousies, insecurity, and pride. What the hell is on his mind? Sunshine, rain, or snow, he loves me. This I know. Baby after baby, you think I would have learned from the first one. Blessings come in all shapes and sizes, and I'm grateful to have some. Sunshine, rain, or snow, he loves me. This I know. A house, car, and a vacation. It's all in his plans. Just hold on and you find yourself fading fast. Sunshine, rain, or snow, he loves me. This I know. Time has run out, no seconds left on the clock. He's still making promises just to keep me on lock. Sunshine, rain, or snow, he loves me. This, I know.
Wow, and that's that piece.
That's that piece.
I love it. You know what? I seriously, I'm still mind blown that you actually said literally the thing I was about to say, and then about this poem. But I really love. Thank you for performing that. So as you all can see, it's not just something you read like flat words on a page, like they come alive, and you just brought them to life. And I think we all appreciate that. And I want to ask you about Sunshine. Actually, is one of my personal favorite poems of yours. I love when you perform it, and I love this, like the.
Why is that?
Well, first of all, just the way it's set up, and the you paint the picture of the sunshine, rain, or snow. You know what I mean? Like it's just very like it's something very vivid. It paints a very vivid picture. And other reasons because I know some of the personal stuff behind it as well.
Okay.
But I'll save that for you to tell if you want.
I'm not gonna tell that. No.
Which is totally fine. No. I was gonna ask you why. So you went through like the chapters. You told us and you told the audience the different chapters and some of the poems that you have within those chapters. So why I believe this is chapter 4, for Sunshine, why did you choose that particular like poem to be like the title poem, I guess, or the title of the whole chapter?
Because when you read Sunshine, it really talks about the things like broken promises that should have been kept. But then as you keep reading it, it gets better and better, you know. So it starts off with Sunshine that, okay, this is not working. But then when you get to my king, the last one, you're like, oh, wow, okay, she done met a king. So it's the way that it's set up.
Yeah. No, I love that. I think that that's very, I think it's cool to see the meaning behind, like, because the way that your book is set up is not just like the name of the poem, but like you have it in chapters, and just to see like why is that right there at the beginning, you know, that totally makes sense. And I love that also you explaining that helps me and the audience as well see the progression of the poems, see the progression of each stage, right?
Okay. And that's what I wanted. I wanted you to see the transformation, because chapter 1 is a little bitter, but not broken. When you get to 8 is my end to my beginning. So you know, each chapter I graduate to a new level. You know, I'm not thinking about just all pleasure. You know, I'm not allowing myself to be in pain, but I'm gonna use that for my purpose. You know, for my purpose.
No, that's powerful. That's really powerful. I feel like this was like a spiritual journey. Do you feel like it was for you as well?
It didn't start out that way. It didn't start out that way.
Wait, what'd you say?
It didn't start out that way.
No, well, of course, but do you feel like, I mean, putting the poems together now, like from the ones you already wrote, and like even in more recent years, you feel like, okay, putting them together and grouping them together in different chapters and stages, you feel like it was like this spiritual transformation that you were able to look back and say, okay, like I went through all of that and it kind of makes sense now, and I went through this and it makes sense now. Like, what was that like for you?
It was, it was emotional. It's emotional. My poems they're very emotional because I've lived them. So I purposely put them in the order of to where, you start off, on a low note. You start off low. And then you build up to, to strength. You build up to, endurance. I've been through this, and, now look at me. This is where I'm at.
Yeah.
And I'm closing that chapter. And it's just to let people know that even if you're in a situation to where, it's not going the way that you want it to go, or you think that it should go. And we have these visions of what our happiness should look like. And we have these visions of how people should treat us. And, sometimes we, as people, we don't communicate that vision to the other person. We just assume that they know. And then, we walk away brokenhearted because, we felt that somebody's supposed to read our mind. So, this book it's a lesson learned. Like it's definitely, a lot of lessons in this book that I could walk away with, and that, somebody else can walk away with. Like, hey, I don't have to give somebody all of me. No, I don't have to do that. Or this is the way love should look. Love should, a man should be able to, go to the moon and back and come back. If a man love you, he's gonna go out of his way to do everything. He's gonna make sure that and everybody else know, and he's gonna mark his territory. As they say, he's gonna pee on you. Mm-hmm. He's gonna pee on you. So, if somebody come by, they're gonna smell it, be like, oh, okay, that's his right there. You already know your husband peed on you. So, you just you got to figure out what's your definition of happiness and not give that power to somebody else to fulfill that for you.
So do you feel like, and that was great. And my next question for you was about, I know we kind of talked about it already, but do you feel like that's kind of your description of why the book is titled Visions of Happiness? You kind of just described it, but I just want to, if you can give us one sentence, what do you think?
One sentence. Oh, can I do it in one sentence?
Or a few. It's okay. Take your time. It's your show.
Well, when people think about happiness, and if you're thinking about it's something from another person, then it's not love. It's codependence. You codependent on somebody else. So I want the readers to walk away with happiness is an inside job, and you should not. You're gonna be disappointed every single time if you're dependent on somebody else to make you happy. So you should be trying to make yourself happy.
That is real. I don't think people realize that, and I think that your words just now is like, I don't know, I think people will really be impacted by this. I think it'll help some people process and heal. And I think that that's why I asked, did you think it was like a spiritual journey? And because in a way, it does kind of sound like you were able to process some things by putting this together the way you did. And we all can see the progression, and just in how the chapters are set up. And so I think it's just I think it will be a healing process for readers. So I'm really excited to see the success of the book. So y'all got to make sure you get your copy. Lady Rochelle, can you kind of tell everybody how they can go ahead and get that copy of Visions of Happiness?
You can go to Amazon, and I had a special yesterday, so the special is off today.
Oh.
So you can go to Amazon. You can go to Amazon and type in Visions of Happiness, or you can type in Rochelle Matheny, and you can get your copy. It's only $9.99, and the ebook copy is $3.49.
Awesome. So now you guys know exactly how to go and get your copy. Don't forget, as soon as the show is over, go ahead and get your copy.
I want to give away a free copy today.
What? Okay, we're giving away a free copy. So that means we got to do a little competition. Maybe Lady Rochelle, do you want to do a question? How do you want to do this?
We could do a question.
All right. I see Mr. Henry is watching.
Hi, Henry. Let me tell y'all, Henry gave me some flowers yesterday for my birthday. They were so pretty. Thank you.
So pretty. They were so nice. So maybe Henry will win. I don't know.
So maybe Henry. Okay, so here's the question. Really quick.
Oh, wait.
What?
Wait, before the question.
Okay.
Are you giving away an ebook copy or a paperback?
I'll do a paperback.
Awesome. Okay. What is the question?
The question is, how long ago did I start writing poetry? Well, this book, how long ago?
Oh, and you mentioned it on the show tonight.
I did. And I mentioned it in every single live that I did for the last 28 days.
Whoa. So I know the answer, but I won't say anything. So you guys go ahead and comment. I can see the comments as you comment, like live, I can see them. So go ahead and let us know if you know the answer to this question so you can get your free copy of Visions of Happiness. And will it be signed?
It will be signed, sealed, and delivered.
Wow, that's a great gift. So I'll go ahead. We'll continue with the show, but I'll be looking out for you. So
Mark got it. Yay! Mark got it. He said 10 years.
Oh, Mark, I see it.
Yay! All right. So Mark, inbox me your address, and I will go ahead and get you that book.
That is so funny.
Awesome.
Well, congratulations, Mark. I'm glad that you got it.
We should. Oh, we got to do two because Henry got it too. So I'm playing favoritism. Yay, Henry won too. Yay, Henry and Mark. Yay. Yeah, Henry got it and Mark got it.
Oh, I see it. I don't know why mine is delayed, but congratulations.
All right. So Henry and Mark, please inbox me your addresses and I will send the book. Deliver.
Send your information to Lady Rochelle, not to me. I know I'm hosting tonight, but send it to her.
Inbox me and I will give it to you. Or should I
point this way? Because there we go. Yeah. Send it to Lady Rochelle.
Thank you.
Not to me.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's so awesome. So congratulations, you guys. I hope that you will enjoy it. I know that you will. And I know for everybody else, I know that you did not win a free copy, but it doesn't mean you can't go purchase it. So go ahead. I keep reminding you, go ahead and get that book so that on Amazon, once you buy it on Amazon, she will be able to, raise up there in the ranks and be a bestseller on Amazon. That would be great.
Mylea. I'm sorry. Okay, can I go? I wanted to go over really quick my 10 points that I have for transforming from pleasure and pain to purpose. I'm gonna go really
Oh my
fast.
goodness.
I'm gonna go
Please.
fast. Okay.
Yeah, as your wisdom. Share this as your
Okay.
wisdom for everybody.
So the first one says to remember that your happiness is important, because a lot of times we forget when we're with somebody, right? And then your happiness does not depend on somebody else, right? Because we always think, oh, that person is going to make me happy if I get with them. And then it says life is not all about yourself either, because sometimes you can find happiness in volunteering, doing something, helping somebody else, versus trying to figure out what people can do for you. Number 4 is release the need to fight change. So when that thing is not working, if that person is not giving you that feeling that you think you should have, then don't resist the change. Number 5 is be present to the season that you are in. A lot of times where we are, we're wishing that we were somewhere else or with somebody else. So be present to wherever you at, so that you can make informed decisions. Number 6 is get to the root of the pain. Whatever the pain is causing you, whatever that is causing you not to be happy. Get to the root of that. Once you get to the root, pull it up, and you won't have to worry about it anymore. Number 7 is turn your pain into purpose by sharing your story with somebody else. Writing a book, turn that pain into purpose. Number 8 is eliminate the need to look in other people's window. Stop looking in somebody else's window, on Facebook. Oh, look, they happy. I want to be like them. Why can't we be like them? No. Everything ain't always as it seems. Number 9 is create your own vision of happiness. Whatever it is for you, create that. And number 10 is happiness is a choice.
That is deep. I love that. Those words of wisdom are so true, and people need to hear that. They need to know that. So y'all keep that in mind when y'all are reading Visions of Happiness. We appreciate those words of wisdom, Miss Lady Rochelle. And also, along with those words of wisdom, just in line with the book and everything that you just said, what do you think it means to be a warrior when you're looking through the lens of Visions of Happiness?
Someone who never gives up, they never give in, they keep pushing with everything that it is that they have. They don't stop, until the battle is won.
That's deep, and that's very true. I think you all will find these words to be true when you read Visions of Happiness, and also just everything that Lady Rochelle has gone through and what she talks about, even on this platform, what she shares. I think you will find that message to be true. And also, because I know we're getting ready to close out, I think most of your listeners probably already know this, but how can they stay in touch with you and kind of, on social media? How can they find you? How can they find out more about the book?
Just type in on all social medias at Warriors Talk with the number 1.
Awesome. That's very simple. She's on everything at Warriors Talk with the number 1. Lady Rochelle, is there anything else that you would like to share before we go ahead and close out this wonderful this evening with your listeners?
My last thing would be you are responsible for your own happiness. So never put the power in someone else's hand, to make you happy. Remember that it starts and it ends with you.
Oh, that's deep. I appreciate that. And I think we all do. So y'all take these words of wisdom. She has so many of them and much more in the book. So make sure that, like I keep saying this, pick up the book, support her. I think you'll just learn more and you'll become a better person and grow. And I think it's a part of the healing process. You never know what you'll find going from pleasure and pain to purpose with Visions of Happiness. So thank you so much, Lady Rochelle, for being the guest on your show tonight and allowing me to host. I'm just so grateful to be on this platform with you and Intellectual Radio. And we hope that everybody on Facebook, that you enjoyed it. Make sure that you not only still give this video a thumbs up, make sure that you also start watch parties and that you share it because people need to see it. But yeah, I'm grateful, and I hope that you all are grateful as well for all the great information that we got tonight from Lady Rochelle on this platform where she's moving away from awareness towards action. And I believe that's the show for this evening. Did we do it? I think it's good.
You did great.
Thank y'all for listening.
Thank you, guys. Go get that book. See you later. Thank you, my Leah.
Bye, guys.
Thank you for listening to this week's edition of Warriors Talk with Lady Rochelle. To find out more about Warriors Talk, follow at Warriors Talk, the number 1, on all social media outlets, and Warriors Talk with Lady Rochelle on YouTube. Please join us next week and every Monday evening at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time on IntellectualRadio.com for Warriors Talk with Lady Rochelle, where we encourage, educate, and empower you into action.